So we have seen this particular standard, and now we'll see some 4 protocol which is based on 802.15.4. So the first one is called ZigBee. So ZigBee is a standard protocol stack for low cost, low power, low rate wireless device, which is actually suitable for the IoT devices. It uses the IEEE 802.15.4 standard to define its physical and the MAC layer. So the MAC layer and the physical layer are same as 802.15.4. There will be no changes at all, but other layer will be changed based on the ZigBee. Now, the ZigBee Alliance is a non-profit association of members aimed at the development of the standard and consists of various kind of organizations, including university, equipment manufacturers, semiconductor companies, etc. So ZigBee is the protocol name, and it is also a group of members, group of people who are actually responsible for developing and enhancing this particular protocol, which is called ZigBee, and it is based on 802.15.4 for IoT devices, for low cost, low rate, low power wireless devices. Now, if you see this particular figure, this will tell you all layers here. So here we have physical layer, then we have media access control layer. Then we have network layer, and then we doesn't have the transport layer, and the application layer is merged together and become one layer. Okay. Now this physical layer and the MAC layer are same as 802.15.4. Okay, it is the same. The packet, frame, everything will be the same. Now the next layer, which is network layer, application layer, is different in ZigBee. Let's see what is the difference here. The figure shows the architecture of ZigBee stack. From the figure, it can be seen that the physical and the MAC layer are supported by 802.15.4 standard, right? The network layer, which is this one, is responsible for functionality as starting a network, joining, leaving a network, routing, configuration of new devices, addressing, and security. So these are the functionality related to network layer. Again, you can say that you can see here the MAC layer and the network layer together is responsible for different security service provider functionality, including starting a network, joining the network, leaving a network, routing performed in the network, configuration of new devices, addressings, and the security also. The application layer here is divided into application support sublayer and ZigBee device object. So the application layer is divided into two. This application layer is divided into two. One is the ZigBee device object that is called ZDO, and there is application support sublayer that is called APS. Okay. Each application object contains software that is written by the application developer. Each application object has an endpoint. So here you can see that in the ZigBee device object, there are application object, and this application object is nothing but one program, which is written for one functionality in the application layer. For example, a remote control device will have an application object for each of its buttons. So this application object, you can consider an application of remote control. So when you use the remote control using RF, it will send the signal to the receiver, or maybe the Bluetooth remote control, it is sending the signal. So each button is having different functionality, right? And that functionality you can consider the application object. And it is managed by ZigBee device object. Okay. Suppose one of the buttons switches on the light bulb, then there has to be a blinding that binds the endpoint of that button and the endpoint of the application object of the light bulb, right? So there should be some, it is saying that there should be some endpoint in between the object and the application supports. These binding tables are maintained by the APS. So that binding is done by this particular application support sublayer, which is binding the application with the physical buttons and all, and the functionality will be taken care So when we push any button, the application object will be run, and this will give the signal to different layers through application support sublayer. Also, the APS is responsible for sending the message to the appropriate received endpoint. A collection of these messages used for a particular application is called profile. So here we'll use application called profile, which will execute the command, which is when we push any button or the object, the application will run and it will send that particular result through the application support sublayer to the different layers. The ZDO is a special kind of application object that is represent on all ZigBee device. Its task is overall device management, including security policy, defining the role of the device. So it is responsible for all managing all applications, as well as managing the devices, security policies, and defining different roles of the devices. So this is the layers of ZigBee, and this is how it works.